The notification sound won't stop. I stare at my phone screen as the numbers climb, 2.3 million views, 50,000 comments, and counting. But these aren't the good kind of numbers. Disgusting human trash. Someone find this kid's address. Hope you get what's coming to you. The video shows me approaching homeless people with my camera, apparently mocking them, giving them fake money, pretending to help before walking away laughing. It's been shared 100,000 times in 6 hours. #Prankgate is trending. And I've just become the most hated teenager in America. My name is Marcus Chen, and this is the story of how trying to protect people's dignity nearly destroyed my family, and how sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let people save you back. Within 24 hours, my school knows. My part-time job fires me. Someone doxes my family's address. My little sister Luna gets bullied at school because of me. My parents, Chinese immigrants who work 2 jobs to give their kids a better life, don't understand how their quiet, studious son became a viral monster overnight. I raised you better than this, my mother cries. How could you hurt people who have nothing? I can't explain without breaking my own rule. So I say nothing. What you're about to hear will change how you think about viral videos, social media judgment, and what real kindness actually looks like. But I need to warn you, this story gets dark before it gets beautiful. Stay with me, hit the like button. That's how stories like this reach people who need to hear them, because the truth behind that viral video will shock you. I watch my phone explode in real time. Comments flooding in faster than I can read them. Human trash. Find this kid's address. Hope he gets what's coming. The #Prankgate is trending. My face is everywhere. You know that feeling when your stomach drops on a roller coaster? Imagine that feeling lasting 6 hours straight. By morning, everything changes. My little sister Luna comes downstairs crying before school. Marcus, why are kids saying terrible things about you online? I can't explain without breaking the most important promise I've ever made. So I just hug her and say, it's complicated, Luna. I'm sorry you're getting hurt because of me. Mom finds us in the kitchen. Her eyes are red from crying. Marcus, I watched that video. How could you hurt people who have nothing? I raised you better than this. Those words hit harder than any death threat online. My mom, who worked 2 jobs to give us a better life. Who taught me that kindness costs nothing but means everything. Looking at me like I'm a stranger. Mom, it's not what it looks like, I try to explain. Then tell me what it is, Dad says, walking in with his phone. Because my coworkers are asking me how I raised such a heartless son. I stand there, mouth opening and closing like a fish. Because I can't tell them. I can't tell anyone. Not without betraying every person I've spent the last 3 months protecting. I can't explain right now, I finally say. Can't or won't. Dad's voice is cold. Can't. My phone rings. It's my boss at the grocery store. Marcus, I'm sorry, but I have to let you go. Customers are recognizing you. It's affecting business. 3 hours later, I'm walking to school when someone throws a water bottle at my head from a passing car. Child abuser, they scream. At school, it's worse. Students I've known for years won't make eye contact. Teachers look at me with disappointment. During lunch, I sit alone while whispers follow me everywhere. My mom said he should be arrested. What kind of psychopath does that? After school, Luna runs up to me sobbing. Marcus, Sofia Martinez told everyone at school that our family raises monsters. She said her mom won't let her come to our house anymore. That night, someone threw a rock through our living room window. There's a note tied to it, "We know where you live, freak." Mom clutches Luna while Dad calls the police. I watch my family fall apart because of something I can't explain, and I wonder if protecting other people's dignity is worth destroying the people I love most. Son, Dad says after the police leave, your uncle in Portland says you can stay with him until this blows over. Maybe that's best for everyone. They want to send me away. My own family wants me gone. I lie in bed that night, staring at my ceiling, listening to Luna cry in the next room. My phone keeps buzzing with notifications. More hate. More threats. More people think they know exactly who I am based on a 3-minute video. But here's what none of them knew. Here's what that video didn't show. Here's the story I've never told anyone, because telling it would have defeated the whole purpose. 3 months earlier, I first noticed Mr. Castellanos. He's this older guy, probably 50s, who sits outside the grocery store where I work part-time. Every day, same spot, wearing this faded army jacket. And every day, I watch hundreds of people walk past him like he's invisible. Not mean. Not rude. Just, invisible. It breaks something inside me, watching that. How can someone fight for our country and then become so forgotten that people look through him like he's not even there? So one day, during my break, I bought an extra sandwich and walked over to him. Hey, I'm Marcus. I work inside. Thought you might be hungry. He looks up at me with these tired eyes and says, I don't need your pity, kid. It's not pity. I just had an extra sandwich. I fought for this country, he says, his voice getting firm. I have dignity. I don't need some teenager feeling sorry for me. I stand there, holding this sandwich, realizing I've done everything wrong. He's not ungrateful. He's proud. And I just made him feel like a charity case. That's when it hits me. Helping people isn't just about giving. It's about preserving their dignity while you give. You're right, I tell him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. He nods, and I walk back inside. But I can't stop thinking about what he said. About dignity. About how helping someone can actually hurt them if you do it wrong. That weekend, I couldn't get Mr. Castellanos out of my head. So I start researching. I watch YouTube videos about homelessness, read articles about veterans, learn about PTSD and how pride can be the only thing someone has left when everything else is taken away. Monday, I try a different approach. I walk up to him with my camera rolling. Hey, I'm trying to do this prank where I give someone $100, but I can't find my wallet. Have you seen it anywhere? He shakes his head. Sorry, kid. Haven't seen any wallet. Dang it, I say loudly, for the camera. This prank is ruined. I guess I'll just go get lunch instead. I walk away, but I leave a bag next to his spot. Inside is a sandwich, $20, and a note, not a handout. Payment for being a good sport about the failed prank. Thank you for your service. Later, when I check, the bag is gone. The next day, Mr. Castellanos gives me a small nod when I walk past. That's how it started. The fake pranks that weren't really pranks. I'd film myself approaching homeless individuals, making it look like I was setting up some cruel joke, then fail spectacularly. The footage would show me walking away empty-handed while they looked confused or annoyed. But what the camera didn't capture was what I left behind, or the quiet conversation we'd have after I turned it off. Maria, who sleeps behind the library, got a warm coat and groceries. On camera, it looked like I was making fun of her cardboard shelter. In reality, I was asking about her kids and helping her figure out how to get them back from foster care. Tommy, this veteran with PTSD, got interview clothes and a phone. The video showed me abandoning him mid-conversation. The truth was, I'd given him my number and the address of a veterans service center. Why make yourself look bad? Maria asked me once, after I'd brought her daughter some school supplies. Because you guys aren't props for my good deed videos, I told her. Your stories aren't content for my social media. If I'm going to help, I'm going to really help, not perform help. She smiled at that. You're a weird kid, Marcus. But you got a good heart. For 3 months, this system worked perfectly. I built a small following of people who thought I was hilariously bad at pranking. The homeless community started calling me Angel Boy, this kid who pretended to be heartless but had the biggest heart of all. If you're still with me at the 10-minute mark and this story is touching your heart, hit that like button right now. This needs to go viral so people understand what real kindness looks like. Mr. Castellanos started talking to me during my breaks. Turned out he'd been a mechanic in the army, served 2 tours in Afghanistan. He'd lost his job when his PTSD got bad, then lost his apartment, then lost his family. My daughter, he told me one day, she stopped answering my calls. Said I scared her when I had my episodes. Said she couldn't let her kids see me like that. Do you blame her? I asked. Every day, he said. But I also understand. I wasn't the father she needed. Wasn't the grandfather those kids deserved. I helped him sign up for counseling through the VA, got him a cheap phone so he could start making calls about job training programs. Even gave him my address so he could use it for applications. Angel Boy, he said to me one afternoon, you're teaching me something important. You're showing me that accepting help doesn't have to mean losing dignity. That there's a difference between charity and community. That's when I knew the system was working. But then someone leaked one of my unedited videos. I still don't know who. Maybe someone saw me filming before I edited it down. Maybe someone hacked my phone. Maybe one of my classmates found the raw footage on my computer. All I know is that suddenly, the internet had a 3-minute compilation of me torturing homeless people for views. The first person to investigate was this journalism student named Naya Patel. She was writing her thesis on viral shame culture and something about my story didn't add up. I've been analyzing viral prank videos, she tells me later, during one of our interviews. Usually, there's this energy, this cruelty that pranksters have. You could see it in their body language, their facial expressions. But watching your videos, even the edited ones, you looked uncomfortable. Like you didn't want to be doing what you were supposedly doing. She started tracking down the people in my videos. Mr. Castellanos was first. That boy saved my life, he told her. Literally. I was planning to, well, let's just say Marcus gave me hope when I had none. And he never asked for credit. Made me promise never to tell anyone. But here's the beautiful part. Every single person I'd helped refused to come forward to defend me. Not because they didn't want to help. But because they were honoring the promise I'd made them about protecting their privacy. Naya interviewed Maria next. Marcus helped my whole family, she said. But he made us promise not to tell anyone. He said if people knew he was helping us, it would turn our real lives into content, and he wouldn't do that to us. Tommy told her the same thing. Angel Boy said our dignity was more important than his reputation. He made us swear we'd never tell anyone what he really did. That's when Naya realized what she was looking at. My kindness had created its own protection system. The very people who could save my reputation were choosing to honor my wish for their privacy, even while watching me get destroyed online. If you've made it to the 15-minute mark and you're starting to understand the truth, smash that like button. We need to get this story to millions of people. I've never seen anything like it, she told me later. Usually, when someone gets falsely accused, victims come forward immediately to defend them. But your victims were protecting you by staying silent, because that's what you'd asked them to do. She faced a horrible choice: expose the truth and vindicate me, or respect the dignity I was trying to protect. While Naya struggled with that decision, my life kept falling apart. The hate escalated. People found our address and started driving by our house, honking, shouting threats. Someone spray-painted "child abuser" on our garage door. Luna stopped sleeping through the night. She'd have panic attacks about going to school. Mom had to take time off work to deal with the crisis. Dad started talking seriously about sending me to live with family in another state. "I can't watch our family get destroyed because you won't tell us what really happened," he said during another terrible dinner conversation. "If you don't explain yourself by the weekend, you're going to Portland." I wanted to tell them everything. But I couldn't betray the homeless community's trust, even to save myself. I stopped eating. Stopped sleeping. Stopped going to school. I'd sit in my room, listening to Luna cry in the next room, knowing I was the reason my little sister was having nightmares. The irony was crushing. I'd spent months learning that real helping means protecting people's dignity. Now that same principle was destroying my family's dignity. And still, I couldn't break my promise. That's when Mr. Castellanos made a decision that changed everything. It's Thursday evening, around 6 p.m., when someone knocks on our front door. Dad answers it and finds this clean-cut guy in a nice suit, holding an envelope. "Mr. Chen? I'm looking for Marcus. My name is Eduardo Castellanos." Dad's confused. "Do you know my son? He saved my life, sir. I need to talk to your family." Mr. Castellanos walks into our living room, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. He's wearing a suit. His hair is trimmed. He looks like he just came from a job interview. "Mr. and Mrs. Chen," he says, sitting down across from my parents. "I got a job today. First steady work I've had in 2 years. I wanted to tell you how your son made that possible." Mom and Dad stare at him, then at me, then back at him. "I don't understand," Mom says. 3 months ago, I was homeless. I was sitting outside the grocery store where Marcus works, and I was invisible. You know that feeling? When hundreds of people walk past you every day, like you don't exist? Dad nods slowly. "Your son started helping me. Not the way you see in those videos. Really helping me. He gave me his own money, his own food. He helped me fill out job applications. He let me use your address when I didn't have one. He drove me to counseling appointments. He never asked for anything in return." Mom's hand goes to her mouth. "Marcus?" "But here's the important part," Mr. Castellanos continues. "He made me promise never to tell anyone what he was doing. He said my story wasn't content for his social media. He said if I ever told people he was helping me, it would turn my real life into entertainment, and he wouldn't do that to me." Luna, who's been hiding on the stairs listening, comes running down and throws her arms around me. "I knew it," she sobs. "I knew my brother wasn't mean." Mr. Castellanos looks at me. "Son, I know what you asked. I know about protecting our dignity. But watching a good kid destroy himself to keep a promise? That's not dignity. That's martyrdom." He turns back to my parents. "I broke my promise to your son because I couldn't watch him suffer for something so beautiful. He's been secretly supporting dozens of homeless people for months. Spending his own money. Sacrificing his social life. Even skipping meals so we could eat." Dad's crying now. Actual tears. "Marcus, is this true?" I nod, and suddenly I'm crying too. "I'm sorry I couldn't tell you. I made them all promise to protect their privacy. I couldn't break that." "But why make yourself look bad in those videos?" Mom asks. "Because they're not props for good deed content," I explain. "Their struggles aren't entertainment. If I was going to help, I wanted to really help, not perform help for social media points." That's when Mr. Castellanos tells us the rest of the story. After he left our house that night, he called Maria, Tommy, and everyone else I'd helped. One by one, they decided to break their silence, not for media attention, but to save the kid who'd saved them. We realized, Maria told me later, that honoring your request for our privacy was important, but letting you get destroyed while we stayed silent? That wasn't what you taught us about community. While they were making these decisions, Naya was finishing her investigation. She'd tracked down 17 different people I'd helped over 3 months. Every single one told her the same story: Marcus helped us, but made us promise never to tell anyone. Her article was titled, "The Teenager Who Revolutionized Charity While Pretending to Be Cruel." It went live on a Tuesday morning, exactly 1 week after my life fell apart. The vindication was as viral as the original hatred. If you're at the 20-minute mark and this story is giving you chills, hit that like button now. This needs to reach everyone who's ever judged someone based on a viral video. Hashtag Marcus Method started trending. News outlets wanted interviews. Companies offered me scholarships. Homeless advocacy groups praised my dignity-first approach to helping people. But you know what the most beautiful part was? The most beautiful part was watching my haters become my biggest supporters. People who'd sent me death threats were now sharing my story as an example of not judging too quickly. Schools started inviting me to speak about performative charity versus real charity. One comment that really got to me was from this girl named Ashley, who wrote, "I shared that original video, calling you a monster. I'm so sorry. You taught me that I need to look deeper before I judge someone. Thank you for showing us what real kindness looks like. But I didn't want to become famous for being kind." When the first news crew showed up at our house, I told them, "I don't want to be a social media star or start a charity organization. I want kindness to be so normal that it's boring. I want helping people to be so common that nobody films it." That's when something even more beautiful happened. Other people started adopting what journalists were calling the Marcus Method. Helping people while protecting their dignity. Giving without performing. Loving without broadcasting. Schools started teaching about the difference between performative charity and real charity. Social workers began training volunteers about dignity-first approaches. Even some major charities changed their policies about featuring the people they help in fundraising materials. Mr. Castellanos got his job at an auto repair shop, and he's now helping other homeless veterans using the same approach I'd learned. Maria got back in touch with her kids and is working toward getting them out of foster care. Tommy started a support group for veterans with PTSD. But here's the deepest truth, and this is where the story gets really personal. The reason I understood so much about protecting people's dignity when they need help is that I remembered what it felt like when my family needed help and didn't get it. When I was 8, we were homeless for 6 months. Dad got laid off from his factory job, Mom couldn't work enough hours to cover rent, and we ended up living in our car, then in a shelter. I remember how some people helped us like we were human beings who deserved respect, and others helped us like we were charity cases to feel good about. I remember how it felt when people took pictures with us for their Facebook posts about giving back. I remember how much it hurt when someone filmed my mom accepting food donations and posted it online to show what good people they were. That experience taught me that there's a difference between helping someone and helping yourself feel good about helping someone. Really helping to preserve dignity. Performative helping exploits vulnerability. When I started noticing Mr. Castellanos outside my work, I saw my 8-year-old self in his eyes. That feeling of being invisible, of being reduced to someone else's good deed story. I knew I had to help, but I also knew I had to do it right. The fake prank videos were my way of protecting everyone involved. The homeless community got real help without becoming content for my social media. I got to make a difference without making it about me. And the people watching my failed pranks got entertainment without anyone's dignity being compromised. For 3 months, it was perfect. I was helping people while protecting their humanity. They were getting support without being turned into inspiration porn. Everyone won. Until someone leaked that unedited video and everything fell apart. But you know what I learned from this whole experience? Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let people save you back. Mr. Castellanos saving my reputation by breaking his promise taught me that community isn't just about protecting each other's privacy. It's also about protecting each other's future. He realized that letting me get destroyed while honoring our original agreement wasn't actually honoring the spirit of what we'd built together. The homeless community coming forward to defend me taught me that real dignity isn't about silence. It's about choice. They chose to speak because staying silent was hurting someone they cared about. My family standing by me even when they didn't understand taught me that love doesn't require complete information. Sometimes love is just trusting that the person you care about is good, even when you can't see how. 6 months later, I'm still helping people, but I'm not doing it alone anymore. The Marcus method has become a whole movement of people who understand that charity without dignity isn't really charity at all. Luna's back to her normal, happy self. She even started her own version at school, secretly helping kids who can't afford lunch by forgetting extra sandwiches in places where they'll find them. My parents are proud of who I've become, but more than that, they're proud of who I always was. We raised you right, Mom told me. You just understood something about kindness that took us longer to learn. The most surprising thing that came out of this whole experience? Naya and I became really good friends. She's working on a documentary about dignity in charity work, and she's interviewing homeless advocates, social workers, and people who've received help about what makes the difference between helpful help and harmful help. You started something important, Marcus, she told me recently. You showed people that how you help matters just as much as whether you help. Mr. Castellanos and I still talk every week. He's not just employed now, he's training other mechanics and volunteering with a veterans organization. More importantly, his daughter reached out to him after seeing the news coverage. They're rebuilding their relationship slowly, with the help of family counseling. Angel boy, he said to me last week, you taught me that accepting help doesn't mean losing dignity. But you also taught me that giving help doesn't mean I get to take credit for other people's healing. That's a lesson I wish more people understood. If this story changed how you think about helping others, I need you to do something for me right now. Hit that like button to help spread this message. Subscribe and ring that notification bell because stories like this need to reach the people who need to hear them most. And tell me in the comments, have you ever helped someone while protecting their dignity? Or have you received help in a way that made you feel truly seen rather than just pitied? Because here's the truth I want everyone to understand. Real kindness doesn't seek recognition. Real kindness seeks transformation. The goal isn't to be famous for being good. The goal is to be so consistently good that goodness becomes normal. I want helping people to be so common that it's boring. I want a dignity-first charity to be the only kind of charity that exists. We live in a world where everything gets performed for social media, where every good deed becomes content, and where other people's struggles become our inspiration porn. But there's another way to love people. A way that protects their humanity while providing real help. It starts with asking yourself, am I helping this person, or am I helping myself feel good about helping this person? It continues with, how can I provide what they need while preserving what they deserve, their dignity, their privacy, their right to tell their own story? And it's completed with, how can I love people without performing that love for an audience? My story went viral twice. Once as an example of cruelty, once as an example of kindness. But the real story, the important story, is happening quietly in communities everywhere. It's Mr. Castellanos helping other veterans. It's Maria working to reunite with her children. It's Tommy leading support groups. It's hundreds of people who learned about dignity-first charity and started practicing it in their own lives. It's people choosing to see homeless individuals as human beings with complex stories rather than problems to be solved or opportunities to feel good about themselves. That's the real Marcus method. Not the viral fame or the media attention. Just the quiet, consistent practice of loving people in ways that honor their humanity. 6 months ago, I was the most hated teenager in America. Today, I'm just a kid who learned that the highest form of strength is learning to be gentle. The most powerful way to help people is to help them while protecting their right to be seen as whole human beings rather than charity cases. And that sometimes, the kindest thing you can do is teach other people how to be kind in ways that actually help instead of hurt. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for understanding that there's always more to the story than what goes viral. And thank you for being the kind of people who choose to look deeper before judging, who choose to help in ways that heal rather than harm. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share your own stories of grace and dignity in the comments below. Because this community grows stronger when we learn from each other's experiences with kindness, empathy, and the courage to do the right thing even when it costs us everything. Until next time, keep choosing love over convenience, dignity over performance, and grace over judgment. The world needs more angel boys and angel girls, people willing to be misunderstood in order to protect other people's humanity. And remember, grief might be temporary, but grace? Grace creates something eternal.